everything we do communicates something.
Yes.
Including what we wear.
Yes.
And so I think, how can I dress in a way that's going to communicate to anyone and everyone that I'm ready for that opportunity that I desire? Buy it nice or buy it twice. Invest a little bit more in pieces that you'll be wearing on a regular basis. I feel like thrifting has become very trendy now, but back when I started thrifting, it's because it's what we could afford. So I started thrifting very, very early.
All these moms are like, what can I wear that's still comfortable but makes me look like I'm not a slob?
I think that there is this tendency to just reach for the leggings, reach for the workout outfit. But one thing I want to encourage you is that you deserve better than leggings. And
Amen.
Leggings are for the gym. I think it's important to help other women feel their best, their most confident self. And one of the ways that we can do that is through what we wear.
I'm excited to go directly to the thrift store as soon as we stop recording.
Shattered to unbreakable. Listen here, sweet sister. Whether you think you have one little crack or you are shattered into a billion pieces, this podcast is going to give you the resources, tools, and skills to help piece yourself back together to form a beautiful, unique, solid, and unbreakable masterpiece. You are listening to Shattered to Unbreakable, the Reclaim Podcast. Let's talk.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Shattered to Unbreakable. I am your host, as always, Brandy Babin, and I'm so pumped. I have Dani Walker here with me today. And if you don't know who Dani Walker is, then you're living under a rock because she is blowing up all over social media and YouTube. She's a commentator for pageantry and bigger televised pageants. And then she also is an influencer on YouTube and Instagram. And then she's also a pageant coach. She was my pageant coach and I won. So, you know, she's good. So I love Dani. Dani, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me. I got really excited when you reached out because we worked together before, and I love to support, obviously, women in pageantry, but it's extra special because we've worked together in the past. So I was very excited.
Yes, me too. And I reached out to Dani because I was like, look, you are so good in the fashion world. All these moms are like, what can I wear that's still comfortable, but makes me look like I'm not a slob? And then also just like the confidence that you feel when you put on an outfit that just looks better than you just woke up. And so I wanted to bring you on, Dani, because you do such a good job of helping people realize you can dress fashionable and increase your confidence without gobs and gobs of effort. Like it doesn't take that much. And you can do it on a budget. I know you and I both have a love of thrifting. And so I'm really excited for you. And you guys, she put so much effort into this. She made a Pinterest page for all of you. So you can go on and look at what she's talking about today. She didn't just be like, oh, I'm on a podcast, I'm just going to show up and be like, hey. She spent hours on this presentation for y'all. So I'm so excited. And I thank you, Dani, for putting the effort in because I think this is going to help. I feel so confident when I actually put on something beautiful to wear. So I want all the moms to feel this way because I know mom life is, yeah.
Same here. Same here. Yes, I think it's important to help other women feel their best and their most confident self. And one of the ways that we can do that is through what we wear.
That's right. So I want people to know a little bit more about you. So tell us just like, how did you get started in this world? And then you live in New York now. So kind of your story through realizing fashion is so much fun and then how you got into thrifting. Just like give us a good background of Dani Walker.
Well, I would say thrifting started when I was a little girl. My mom and the family that I grew up in, we come from just a very low socioeconomic background. And so thrifting was an essential. I feel like thrifting has become very trendy now, but back when I started thrifting, it's because it's what we could afford. So I started thrifting very, very early. And my style has definitely changed over the years. I would say a lot of that has to do with my time in pageantry, which I'm so grateful for. And I learned so much about creating your own personal sense of style. And as you know, things that we wear in pageantry aren't always things that we would wear in our day-to-day life. But still in that process, I was learning a lot about myself. And I actually got to work with one of the coaches of Miss France during my time as Miss Montana USA. His name's Arnaud, and he's incredible. And French women as many people know, are really known for their fashion. And he really helped guide me a lot with my personal style. And I felt like I learned so many kind of, I don't want to say style rules, but style suggestions from him. And they were just things that kind of are timeless and work again and again and again. And then I kept building on that. And actually, a lot of people noticed that after like years after I was Miss Montana USA, I continued to really press into finding my own personal style. And I feel like that really started for me because of Arnaud. And now I just really, really enjoy fashion because New York City, I would say what I've noticed as somebody who's lived across the United States and who's traveled extensively across the US and also internationally. I would say trends come first to New York City and all of the fashion girlies there, they try it out. And then there's this trickle down effect throughout the rest of the US. And of course, it's a little bit regional, yes, because
Yeah,
weather
yeah.
definitely takes an effect. But I really feel inspired every single day that I go outside. And I'll be honest, I grew up in Southern California, so my style was very California casual. And I used to drive my mom nuts growing up. She's like, "You can't wear sweatpants every day. You can't you can't just go outside in your pajamas." And in my head, I was like, "Mom, everybody does.
Doing
It's
it.
not hurting anyone."
Yeah.
And it's not hurting anybody, of course, but gosh, being in New York City and seeing all the cute outfits, it makes you
Yes.
wanna go home and put something on that's super fun and it makes you wanna experiment with your style and fashion, and so that's also been a huge influence for me.
That's so true. I like to tell people, like, be aware of your environment. It really does have an effect on you, and it affects your confidence, I think, who you are around. So that's so true. So what I'm excited for is for you to give us tips on like what can we do and like mix and match. What are some staple items we can have in our closet as moms that are comfortable but still looks great? So without further ado, let's get into collections and pieces because I'm excited to go directly to the thrift store as soon as we stop recording.
I actually went thrifting yesterday, so I'm also feeling
Fun.
quite inspired. I can't wait to wear some new pieces. So, I would say my first piece of advice here, specifically because we're talking to a lot of moms, and although I'm not a mom and I can understand comfort is going to be a priority, frankly, it's a big priority for me as well, just in my normal day to day life.
Women in general.
Yes, yes, and I think that there is this tendency to just reach for the leggings, reach for the workout outfit, but one thing I want to encourage you is that you deserve better than leggings, and
Amen.
leggings are for the gym. Leggings are for working out, ladies.
Yes.
Yes. So, and the way that honestly that I got around it because I used to reach for the leggings every time. I never went to the airport without a pair of
Mhm.
leggings on. I was always in my leggings. And I realized that it takes the same amount of time for me to put on a pair of leggings as it does to put on a pair of nice jeans or trousers.
Yeah. And I honestly like I feel uncomfortable wearing leggings out and about because I'm like, I feel like it's showing too much. I don't like I kind of like the gym doesn't bother me because I actually want to look in the mirror and see my muscles that I'm working on and it makes me feel more motivated. When I'm out and about, I'm like, I don't want everybody looking at every little nook and cranny that I have.
I think also I agree with you, and I think also in the US, leggings have become a normalized piece of fashion for day-to-day wear, but as somebody who's been traveling pretty extensively internationally within the past decade, I've realized that it is not the norm internationally, and, if you wanna spot an American, just look for the leggings, and so I started just challenging myself to put together a few different outfits that were my go-to outfits that I can wear again and again and again. And along the lines of leggings, I would say too, another really easy swap for you to make from, for example, a legging to a pair of great jeans or a legging to a trouser, a legging to a skirt or shorts, depending on the climate that you're in. An easy swap is I would not wear out my old sweatshirts in public. You can keep those at home, stay cozy, take them to the gym, but it's so easy to swap a sweatshirt for a sweater. And as somebody who thrifts all the time, let me tell you, There are so many great sweaters at the thrift store. There's so many incredible styles there. I typically try to stick to natural fiber sweaters. That's one thing I look for is mainly cashmere, wool, cottons, or at least a 50-50 blend. That's another piece of advice I would say because I think that picking pieces that are made of great quality materials, which you can find when you're thrifting, is going to encourage you more to wear that piece on a regular basis because it's going to serve a functional purpose in your life. And I've really noticed how that made a change for me, especially oh my goodness, being here on the East Coast, the winter this year was
Oh my
brutal.
gosh, so cold.
It's been so rough, but one of the things that has made my life so much easier is being able to rely on a few really, really great wool and cashmere sweaters that I can keep in rotation. So I think that's really
Yeah.
and I would encourage you that you don't need 20 of them. You really, really don't. I probably have about 5,
Okay.
and I rotate the sweaters with different tops, with different jackets, with different coats, with different layers. I
Mhm.
don't feel like we need necessarily more or much more in our closet. Now, if you're building a wardrobe right now and you really do feel like you need a closet refresh, sure, of course, go out, grab those sweaters and those updated pieces for yourself. But I really do think that we have fallen into overconsumption.
Yeah.
So, another tip that I have, whether you're thrifting or whether you're making a purchase, is to buy it nice or buy it twice. That
Oh.
is something so important to remember. So, in the past, I used to think, oh gosh, this sweater, for example, it's just so affordable. I can afford to get this and it's no big deal. But I wouldn't really be pulling for that item when I was getting dressed during the week because the quality wasn't that great. And maybe that sweater wouldn't wash very well. Maybe it would pill
Mm.
very quickly. And then what am I doing with that piece? Well, now I'm donating it. Now I'm not wearing it. And then it didn't really save me that much money because now I'm looking for its replacement because it didn't serve its purpose. So, that's why I encourage thrifting because you can find a lot of really great natural fibers. So
Yeah.
now I pretty much stick to that rule where I only purchase wool, cashmere, or natural fiber sweaters. I only have a few of them. I've been fortunate to thrift them. And I also understand not everybody has the time to sift through a thrift store, and not everybody has a great thrift store option in their area. So if you are going to be purchasing retail, I would still discourage you from buying that discounted sweater that's
Yeah.
made out of acrylic or polyester because I can tell you, you're not going to be excited to wear it and it's not going to keep you as warm. It's not going to be as comfortable. It's not going to look as great either with the rest of your wardrobe. So buy it nice or buy it twice, invest a little bit more in pieces that you'll be wearing on a regular basis. And I think that is a key for your day to day wardrobe.
I love that. And I love like if you could feel the difference between the 2 when you're wearing it, it's just like when you're wearing a nice cashmere sweater, you just wanna like curl up with it like you're under a blanket, which the other ones you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get home and take this off."
Right, because it's so itchy or it's uncomfortable. I will say though, with some wools, some of them are itchier. And for those ones, I just always purchase them and then plan to wear a shirt underneath them for that. But
Right.
I know that we're getting into our warmer months for a lot of people, and we're not going to be focused that much on sweaters.
Yes.
So, my other tip, though, and piece of advice is especially if you're going to be thrifting something, I mean, it still works for retail as well, but does it hit the 30 wears rule? Does it pass the 30 wears test? So when I purchase something, I ask myself, am I likely to wear this piece and to style it multiple ways? And can I do that at least 30
Like in a year or just over the life of having it?
over the life of the
Okay.
garment? Because there are some things that are seasonal. There
Yeah.
might not be that opportunity, but I feel like that's a really important part of making fashion more sustainable is
Mhm.
choosing pieces that are going to work with other things in your wardrobe. And I know that for me, for so many years, that was such a huge temptation when I was going out shopping. I would see a piece and it was super trendy, and I was like, oh, I just love this so much. I'm going to purchase this. But it was such a specialty piece that I
Right.
only got 1 or 2 wears out of it, and then I'm donating it
Yeah. That's
later.
such a good
And
point.
It really is not helping your wardrobe, and it's sad now that I thrift so much. I go to the thrift stores and I see so many pieces that were trending 6 months ago, and I'm sure people paid a premium price for them, and now they're just at the thrift store and nobody wants them. It's so sad. So, purchase those pieces that you're going to wear at least 30 times.
That's a good point for even like vacations, because I know a lot of us girlies, we get on Temu and we get stuff for vacations, and then you really can't wear it any other time but on vacations. And so it's like, well, maybe we could get things even for vacations that you can wear multiple times, like fun little skirts or crop tops that you can mix and match together that can still be worn in the summertime. Because I
And
get caught in special occasion shopping.
yes, I agree with you. So I actually try to even make my special occasion outfits go further. Now, granted, I am in New York City, so you can get away with a lot when it comes to fashion, but I've even found fun ways to style formal wear or
Mm.
cocktail looks by layering them with other pieces to create a whole new look. So I have used gowns and turned them into maxi dresses and layered them with things. And I think it's all about just looking at the garments that you have and getting very, very creative with them, no matter what occasion that you originally purchased them for. And also thinking about multi seasonal wear. So, when it comes to fabrics, obviously for our warmer months, we're going to want our lighter fabrics like our silks and our chiffons and our
Right.
linens. And when we're looking at our colder months, we're going to want things like our wools and our cashmeres. And cotton, I would say, is very interchangeable throughout the
Yeah.
seasons. But when we look at those fabrics, keep in mind that your thinner fabrics, you can still wear those in your colder months. You can just use them as a layer. And you actually brought up vacation outfits. And I love vacation looks, resort wears, all of those things.
Yes.
And I feel like over the years, I've gotten so creative with those. And I've used Pinterest for inspiration because I love it. It's so easy and visual, and it's very easy to save the things that you like.
Yes.
And I've noticed that trends are coming and going when it comes to vacation looks and resort wear. But at the end of the day, if you really just scroll Pinterest, you'll find there's some pieces that you're going to see every single season. You're going to see a linen button up. You're going to see linen pants or linen shorts. You may see a really elegant maxi skirt. You might see a really, really great caftan that you can wear as a swim cover up. Something else that I've noticed is very versatile that I've started adding even more of into my wardrobe are scarves of varying sizes, specifically larger ones. Actually, I did pin in the board that I shared with your audience. I pinned
Yeah.
this really great, I think, a vacation look. And the woman in the image, she's wearing a simple white dress, and then she has this really large, oversized silk scarf, and it's just draped around her. And I love that she's able to take a simple white dress that can
Right.
be worn again and again and again, and then just throw on a colorful scarf. And now she's created this really beautiful vacation look. And actually, after seeing that pin, I thrifted a very, very, actually two. I thrifted two very similar large silk scarves, but I'm going to style them exactly in the same way that she's styling them here because funny enough, I actually
Ye
looked in my closet and I have a white dress very similar to the one that she's wearing. So
Oh my
I
gosh.
I also think that shopping your closet and at least once a year, go through your closet, sift through it, ask yourself, have I been wearing these pieces? And then for the pieces that you don't want to donate, look back at them and say, how can I make these new again? What can
Right.
I style these with? How can I transition this piece into a new season? I think just falling back in love with the wardrobe that you have is so important. And I just did a spring closet clean out. And I like to just go through my closet and remember how much I loved an item when I bought it and remind myself, look, even though I've worn this piece 5 times, when I wear it out, the people that are seeing it have never seen it before. And it is just as beautiful when I bought it as it is now. It can still have the same effect, but that's also where my 30 where's rule comes in because when I'm purchasing these pieces, I'm thinking, okay, how many ways can I style this item? And so that really, really helps for me to only add a few new pieces per season to my closet.
Right. You know, it's funny because when I was shopping, I wouldn't buy anything unless it was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so interesting and unique." But I really learned actually through Stitch Fix the importance of simple items that aren't conversation pieces. I felt like my entire closet was conversation pieces, and I was like, "I don't have a black tank top because I don't wanna go spend the money on something so blah." But it's like, once Stitch Fix was sending me just this really comfortable, high quality black tank top, I'm like, "This feels amazing and it looks really good." I didn't realize how good simple things look, and then
You're
how versatile they can be.
You're so right, and you need them, and that's what I learned is the power of a capsule wardrobe. Honestly, you probably only need about 20 really great pieces in your wardrobe,
Mm.
and another hack that you can do when you're looking through your closet, you can take an inventory, you can look at what you have, the pieces that you love, look at the things that you're like, "Wait a second, I either need to replace an item or I don't have that item." You can take photos of the pieces that you have, or you can just describe them. You can throw that into Chat GPT and you could say,
Mm.
Chat, what pieces am I missing in my closet? What are ways that I can style the pieces that I have? And in fact, that's usually what I do when I end up traveling quite a bit during the summers for work. And I can't take 10 suitcases with me, and I will be on the road for weeks and traveling for weeks. So I have to figure out how can I make the most of what I already have and how can I get really creative mix and matching things. And
Right.
I've definitely turned to ChatGPT, taken photos and said, how many outfits can I make from these pieces? And is there a piece that I'm missing here that would help me to create even more looks? And I feel like, gosh, traveling and having to pack so lightly was life-changing for me as well because it forced me to get so creative with what I'm wearing,
Yeah.
and that actually brings me to another really great tip. So, a lot of the pieces I would say in the Pinterest board that I shared with you, a lot of them feature neutral colors. So it's very popular to see very neutral looks, I would say, across Pinterest or Instagram from fashion influencers. We see blacks and creams and khaki and gray and white. And it's great because those pieces are very interchangeable. So having those things are going to help you to get more wear out of your closet. But I think something that I wish I would have learned sooner is that your neutrals don't have to be everybody else's neutral.
Mm.
So, for example, I used to wear a lot of blacks, and don't get me wrong, I love black, but in the past year, I realized a dark brown looks better on me with my hair and my skin
Ah.
tone. And so I've shifted away from black as my neutral to brown as my neutral.
Mhm.
And I think it's more important when you're building a wardrobe to just stick to your color palette. And I know that finding your colors has been pretty popular in the past few years. And I
Yes.
know that I actually just did a shoot. Her name is, or she goes by the Color Countess on Instagram, and she's really great. And so if you ever want to get a one on one, I would highly recommend her to find out exactly what your colors are. But if that's not in the budget, if that's not an option, you can also take a photo of yourself inside, take a photo of yourself in natural light, put it on a Chat GPT and ask Chat,
Like, what
what
should I wear?
colors look best on me?
Okay, give me a color palette. Yeah.
Exactly, and use those. And now, honestly, I primarily stick to my color palette, especially when I'm thrifting, and that helps prevent me from overwhelm when I'm
Yes.
thrift shopping because it's a lot. There's so
Be
many
there for
pieces of
hours.
clothing. It's so much, and you're sort of like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. So what I do is as I'm going down the racks, I'm only paying attention to the colors that I know look good on me, and I typically pick a summer spring palette for myself, and then I
Mhm.
pick a winter fall palette. And so when I'm shopping, those are the only colors that I'm searching for. So like I said, I made that shift from black to browns, and
Mhm.
I've thrown in some navies because I really like blues. And then of course you're never going to go wrong with your whites, ivories, creams. that's fine. And then I like to add in as my quote unquote neutral, I like to add in a color that fits in my palette that I really love. So for me, that might be a red or a fuchsia. It could be a turquoise. And I think that's important because if you look just at Pinterest and Instagram, everything does seem so neutral. And I feel like neutral can be different for everybody. And you should pick your neutral, pick your
Yeah.
palette. And that's how you can add in colors. So you can have the basis and the majority of what you're purchasing will be your true neutral. So your
Right.
black, white, cream, khaki, navy, whatever that is for you. And
Mhm.
then add in a couple of the colors that look really, really great on you and find creative ways to pair those with your true neutral palette, I guess you could say.
I
Find
love
ways to
that.
pair those because I think that a lot of us we want to wear colors and then we get overwhelmed and we don't even know, well, how do I wear that color? And it's trending and I know it looks really great on me, but I just don't know how to wear it. I don't know where to put it into my wardrobe. And I'm like, you can just throw it into your neutrals. It
Yes.
will work and match with the black, white, grays, navies, and browns that you can incorporate. And it's going to make your wardrobe so much more wearable.
It helps so much. Having like a white and a black and a brown undershirt for anything helps because then you can mix and match any color. And I have this weird newfound obsession for slate grays. I
Ooh.
love gray. It's like really fun for me to wear gray. But the
Yeah. And
gray looks
I
really
think
poppy
gray
with
had a moment.
burgundy.
Gray had a moment, I would say a couple seasons ago, and I loved that I saw a lot of creators wearing gray with yellow and then
Mm,
gray with burgundy,
yes.
and I started wearing outfits with those color combos because I loved seeing it so much.
Yes, I have a gray dress and a burgundy dress, and I love wearing the gray. I have a gray, button up that's super soft. I don't know what this fabric is, but it wrinkles very easily, so I have to steam it every time I wear it. But, oh, I love the way it looks, and I do just like a front tie over the burgundy dress with my gray button up. It's my favorite. I've
Ooh,
overworn it.
layering. Yes. Oh my goodness. And I think you just touched on a really important part. You said, okay, I like to tie it up. Yes. So that is something else that I think is such a big part of fashion is how are you actually going to style that garment? How are you
Mhm.
going to wear it? And I get super creative with that. I take things, I layer them. Sometimes I'll layer a skirt over a dress, and that turns my dress into my shirt or I will layer I'll just I mix a lot of pieces that you wouldn't expect to be mixed and make them look like something else. Like using my dress only for its skirt, using my dress only for its top, the ways that you tie your tops up, like you mentioned, sometimes adding a little scrunch to the sleeves, all of those things are going to help to elevate your look, elevate your everyday wear, and just make you look more stylish.
Absolutely, and it also helps your body look better. Like, the reason I tie it is because if it's just hanging, I feel like I don't have shape. But if I tie it, it gives me a waist, and I have a very straight middle. I don't really
Me too.
have a curvy waist. It makes me feel better to have kind of a more feminine, womanly figure than just a stick straight figure. And so I just feel more confident when I tie it up based on like stylistic and the way my body looks when it's tied. So you can look at the shape of your body and say, what do I want to accentuate? And what might I want to hide because I don't want people to see? Where do you want to draw attention? Where are your gifted places?
Right. And I actually heard something recently from one of my best friends, and she owns a bridal store. It's called The Velvet Bride. And she gets so many requests from so many different brides, obviously based on your body type. And she brought up such a really great point recently. And she said, it's interesting to see a bride or two brides with visually almost identical body types, but one bride is asking to highlight one feature while the other bride is asking to hide that exact same feature. And so, even if we had the same body types, we might still have different opinions of that part of our body. And
True.
I feel like my body type sounds very similar to you, though. I've always had a pretty slim and boyish figure. I don't have much of a natural curve to my waist either. So one thing I'm always looking to do is really accentuate my waist as well. And
Mhm.
clothes can help us to do that. And I think that's something else that you and I chatted about a little bit before we jumped into this. And it's body types and dressing for your body type. And I really think that one basic piece of clothing that everybody should have is a pair of great jeans.
Yeah.
And jean trends and cuts will come and go. They're
Yes.
so trendy. And for jeans, maybe it's a controversial take. I think that regardless of whatever's trending, you should just go with the style and cut of jean that works for your body. The style of jean that either is going to hide or highlight whatever part of your body that you want to hide or highlight. In that way, I think
Yes.
it's really important. And so for me, I know that I love a I
Mhm.
love a high-waisted jean. Low rise just never really works for me. So even when low rise jeans are trending, I'm still never going to make that purchase because I know I won't feel my best in them.
Yes.
And I think that one really important thing too, when you look at your jeans, because I think that a lot of people have a lot of pairs of jeans and
Yes.
then they look at them and they go, but I don't wear any of these jeans. I wouldn't use them. Okay. So if you're not going to wear those jeans, let's donate them or let's resell them. And then maybe also take a look at the jeans that you do have and ask yourself, what is it I like about these styles or don't like about them? And do I really need to replace these jeans? Because we're kind of chatting specifically about moms in today's episode. And I know that bodies change so much,
Yes.
especially during a postpartum season. And so if you're finding that your wardrobe is not really suiting you, take that inventory, try them on, and if you have to, take those jeans, like if you really love a pair of them and you're like, gosh, they don't fit quite the same way, take them to a tailor. You can
Ooh.
have your jeans let out, you can have your jeans let in.
Mhm.
And I'm somebody who sews, so I actually do those alterations myself. So if you're a little
Right.
bit handy, you can take care of that yourself. But really, all you need is a few great pairs of jeans for your everyday wear. So I would say think about the styles that you're normally drawn to, the colors that you like wearing. Generally speaking, you can have a light, a medium, and a dark wash jean. And then I would just stick to the silhouettes that you love. If you still love a skinny jean, wear that skinny jean and make sure it's styled well. If you love a wide leg jean, go with those. I love kind of a more of like a 90s mom jean personally. I love that silhouette. So it's just, finding what works for you, finding the pieces that you're actually going to get wear out of, and making sure that really, I like to say always, uh, size over style. So you can have
Mhm.
the most stylish piece of clothing, but if it doesn't fit you, and if you feel like it's too tight or too loose, you're really not going to pull for that piece anyways. So
Yeah.
if you've been holding on to something in your closet and the reason you're not wearing it is because of the fit, then either donate that because you're not really going to get wear out of it, or go and get that tailored.
I have this one pair of pants that I absolutely love, but it really hurts when I wear it because it's too tight in the waist. And so I have a stomach ache every time I wear these pants. But they're so beautiful that I keep wearing them. And they're gray.
I think that we all have honestly, I was thinking about that too the other day, and recently I saw some great hacks for letting out your pants, and I'm gonna be incorporating that because I've also had pieces that I ended up donating because I said, "Oh gosh, I'm never gonna be this size again. I know that, and I'm just not getting the wear that I want out of this piece, and I want somebody else to enjoy it." And now I look back and think, "Gosh, well, I could have just tailored those. I could have still had those if I just let
Yeah,
them out."
no doubt. I need to learn how to tailor the waistline. I know how to tailor seams, but not the waistline. So I just need to learn that. Then I can
It's
pick.
actually not that complicated, and there's different hacks, and it's funny you say that because I actually have a pair of pants that I just thrifted, and I'm literally going to make an Instagram and a TikTok post about that and show people, "Okay, here's
Good.
how you can do it, and here's how you can do it also even without a sewing machine and with very little sewing knowledge," so I'm gonna show that, and
Yay.
actually, speaking of that, for all of your viewers, if you want even more tips and ideas for styling, please give me a follow on LTK, Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok. I'm there on all platforms.
Yes, YouTube. You've been such a great presence on just everything. I mean, you talk about travel and you even talk about confidence and, not dating just to date, but to be confident in that world. And that's helped me to just don't worry about trying to find the right man. Worry about being confident, knowing who you are, and not lowering your standards just to not be lonely. So, I mean, everything, you guys, just go follow her no matter what you're looking for. You just need to.
I appreciate that so much. And it's easy to find me too. Just search Dani Walker or Dani Walker official, really on any platform. I'm there. And you're right. I do love sharing all of those tips because I feel like everything that I share about does go back to confidence in some way, shape, or form. I just feel like the idea of confidence and building it will touch every single part of your life. And so, whether that's through what you wear, whether that's in your dating life, whether we're talking about work and professionalism or goals that you have, confidence is going to play a really big part in that. And it just so happens today we're talking about the fashion aspect of it, which I love. And
Yes.
also, I wanted to bring up just a couple more tips too that I make sure that we touch on today. And because I know that building your whole wardrobe, you might be hearing everything we're talking about and thinking, okay, well, this sounds great, but I don't know where to start. What do I really
Right.
need in my wardrobe? And you can utilize ChatGPT. You can also utilize YouTube. There's a lot of other great creators, just like myself, and we share about our capsule wardrobes. I think that a capsule wardrobe is great for fall, winter, and then also it's going to look a little bit different for spring, summer. But at the end of the day, especially if you're in a mom season and you want to just elevate your clothes, step one is going to be to take inventory of everything that you have so that you can tell, okay, well, what are the things that I would actually need to purchase? Because you might not have to purchase everything on the list that I'll share. So, a few things I would encourage though are having some nice, crisp shirts. So, purchasing a few shirts that are in your neutrals, that are in your color palette, that aren't usually made of an especially loose fabric or stretched out fabric. Having a little bit of structure in the shirts that you decide to wear is immediately going to elevate all of your looks. Like you can still be casual, you can look professional at the same time just with a little bit of structure. Actually, today as we're chatting, I am wearing a thrifted pinstripe button up that has a little bit of structure. This is a
I was
piece that
just going to say, like, exactly what you're wearing. Yes.
it's a piece that I get so much wear out of and wear all the time. And also for my ladies that maybe have a partner who has some button up shirts, you might be able to raid their closet as well. I personally love a really great oversized button up. And I have button ups in black, white, and a few pinstripes because I feel like it's such a great classic fabric. You can wear it again and again and again. Right, right. I practice what I preach. And the other thing I think that's important to have in addition to that would be some pieces that are going to be form fitted, a little bit more form fitted. So you want to have a fitted tank, or depending on your level of comfort, but a fitted tank, a fitted bodysuit,
Mhm.
and some more fitted tees, not just to wear for spring, summer, because I know not everybody wants to wear a fitted look, but you actually should have those pieces for fall, winter.
Mm,
That you should have to be layering under your sweaters, under your coats, under your jackets. You're going to need something that's going to lay really flat. So even if you don't want to wear form fitted pieces, you should still have these. They're not going to be necessarily things that you have to feature, but we should have them for layering and pick those in your neutrals. So like for me, I'm staying away lately from black and I'm leaning more towards browns. I was able to purchase a really beautiful brown fitted tee not that long ago, and I've been getting so much wear out of it. And then the other thing, like I said, I talked about jeans, but I think bottoms are their own category. So we have our tops and we have our bottoms.
mhm.
And I would love if everybody had those three washes in their closet, the light, the medium, the dark, because that should kind of cover all of your bases. But also, outside of the jeans, having some fall winter pants and then spring summer. So for me, I'm always going to lean towards a cotton or a linen trouser type style or lounge pant style, depending on your personal style and what you're going to use it for. I think that that's great. So I think I have two pairs of white trousers, and the style is a little bit different for both of them. So one's a little bit more dressed up, a little bit more formal. The other one's definitely more like let's lounge by the pool, and those get me through the summer. And then you could add in some of those basic trouser styles. Make sure you get one that has a fit that you love. Like for me, like I said, I like a high-waisted pant, so I go with that. And I have them in brown, black, and a khaki color. You're going to get so much wear out of that by mixing and matching them with your tops. And then if you're like me, you love skirts and dresses, that could also be a basic and a staple that you can have. I have a few skirts that I love for spring, summer. I have a long white maxi linen skirt. It's so great, I think, especially for travel. It's just, and for a little bit of sun protection, you don't want to get burned. You need a little bit more of a cover up. You can style it. Sometimes I use it as a swim cover up as well. So
Mm,
again, thinking about what's the functionality of this piece? How many different ways can I wear this? And then skirts, I love a really basic just pleated skirt. I have a black pleated skirt, has shorts underneath it. I wear it a lot during the fall. I layer it with tights, I layer it with boots. It's a piece that I just wear again and again and again. So, dresses, if that's more of your style, I know not all women want to wear a dress, or they feel like dresses aren't the most functional in their day-to-day life, especially if you have kids. You're like, how am I going to wear a dress? You can wear all sorts of dresses. You don't have to wear a mini dress. You can wear a shift dress. You can wear a maxi dress. You can wear a dress that has pockets. You can do a midi dress. And I feel like there's oftentimes a level of formality associated with dresses. And what I like about them, though, is you can easily style them with flats. That's become a really wearable style. So think about wearing those. Specifically, I usually wear longer styles of skirts and dresses, love them, but you can pair those not only with a great heel or a strappy sandal when you want to dress them up, but you can wear those same pieces on your day to day with a great ballet flat, a loafer, a sandal, all sorts of things. They'll take you through different seasons. And then for your outerwear, I would say look for some great blazers. That's immediately going to make you look a little bit more dressed up. And for our fall winter, I think that a wool coat, a really beautiful long wool coat in a black, a brown, a gray, or a khaki for me, or a camel color, it's a non negotiable. So
right.
that's gonna make you look really, really beautiful, always elegant having that. And then our sweaters too, because we talked quite a bit about those earlier. Another thing that I love sweaters for is not just fall, winter, but I just love styling them over my shoulder. I love having a great sweater for those nights where it gets a little bit breezy in the spring, summer, and you're like, wait a second, I should have brought a jacket. Well, you could make it just a part of your outfit by styling your sweater on your sleeves. There's lots of great ways to wrap a sweater. So I find use for my sweaters through every single season, but that's because I love them so much because I invested in a better quality by thrifting them. And then
Yes.
I would say just for shoes, something else that'll be important is having a really great pair of like a basic sneaker. So for me, that's a basic white sneaker, and something that's going to make your everyday outfits look so much better is just making sure that it's not the most worn out, beat up sneaker that you've ever seen. I think just having a really, really nice elevated sneaker is great. Like I said, for other flat shoe options, I love loafers, ballet flats. A lot of the outfits that I pinned on that board, you'll
Hmm.
see a great use of ballet flats there. You'll see some styles with a loafer or a slip on mule. That's wonderful. And
Yeah.
then, depending on your personal style, I think it's nice to have a couple pairs of heels. I know heels aren't for
Yes.
everybody, and you'll find that it's not always practical, but honestly, if you wanna take a lot of your casual styles, like your jeans and your trousers or your dresses up a notch, if you wanna be able to use them for those nights where you're not going to a cocktail event, you're not going to a formal super formal event, but if you throw on even a pair of kitten heels with your jeans to go out with your girlfriends, that's gonna elevate your look. If you throw on those heels when you have a date night, that's gonna give it a whole new life as well. And so that's something that I've learned to rely a lot more on, especially in New York, is I noticed because there's a lot of walking in this city. Oh my gosh. I noticed how popular a kitten heel style is here, and I ended up really falling in love with them because during my time in pageants, I was dedicated to my 4-inch and up
Oh,
heels,
yeah.
and they're not practical for, walking a lot throughout the night.
Yeah.
You can save your joints, honestly. And, even this past season, I ended up purchasing a really great pair of low black pointed toe ankle boots, and I've worn them constantly throughout fall, winter, and I just wear them underneath my jeans, under all of my trousers for an instantly, little slightly more dressed up look. And the heel is only 2 inches, and so I
Hmm.
get the effect of the heel. Because honestly, when you hide your heel underneath the hem of your trousers or pants, nobody knows how tall that heel is. For all they know, you're wearing a stiletto. Okay,
Yeah,
nobody's gonna
exactly.
so you
It's
can
just so
you can give
graceful.
that appearance. Yeah, it's like you can give that appearance and you can feel, I think, just like a little bit more confident about yourself. So I don't know, something about putting on a pair of heels does something for my confidence personally. So maybe it would do
Yeah,
something for your listeners as well.
right. No, I'm so glad you mentioned shoes because I think so many people get caught up on shoes, and so then they just wear their workout shoes, like you said, every day. And and I think there's something to be said about a nice, clean white sneaker.
I
And
love
I can't ever keep them white, but I still want some.
I love them. But you know
They're
what
so
helps
good.
me keep my sneakers white is just getting a magic eraser. A magic
Mm,
eraser does wonders. So it's like every couple wears, just hit those white sneakers with a magic
that's a good
eraser.
idea.
And oh my gosh, I feel like that was life changing for me. Now I get so much more wear out of my sneakers. And then every few wears, I'll wash the laces, and
Yeah.
that always really brightens them up. And, oh, the other thing I hadn't mentioned yet was just the power of accessories. And you don't
Yeah.
even have to have a ton of them, but I hope that everybody notices in that Pinterest board that I shared the subtle accessories there.
Mhm.
Using, for example, using hats of all kind,
Yeah.
right? So obviously vacation hats are going to be, at least for me, a little bit more fun, larger brims, but you can even style a baseball cap in a really great way for your casual everyday wear, especially on those, no wash days for your hair. Like, okay, it's not a wash day today, so I'm going to throw on a baseball cap, but you'll see different ways to style that in the board. And I talked about scarves earlier. And I think even if you're not a jewelry girl, just still strategically picking a few really great statement pieces of jewelry.
Mhm.
You can stick to a metallic color palette. So if you prefer golds versus more silvers, just pick that, have a few statement pieces, and just know that you're going to throw those on anytime that you're going out to immediately elevate your look.
Yes.
Scarves, like I said too, they're not only great for actually wearing, but you can throw them onto a purse, onto a bag. You can use them for sun protection, hair protection. For
Mhm.
me, scarves are just one of the most underrated. And then sunglasses. Oh my gosh. I think that there's so many outfits, especially for your day to day, instantly chic when you throw on a pair of great sunglasses.
It's true.
So those are things that I think are just so important, non-negotiable, and they, I think, should be a part of what I just refer to as my uniform. So I think that every woman, if you want to elevate your look a little bit more, create a couple of uniforms in your closet so you don't have to think anymore. So for
Okay.
me, I'm wearing a pair of jeans, which I will do a lot, a jean style that I love, that it fits me well. And then I'm wearing my structured button up. And then I'm throwing on some of my most basic, for anybody that's actually watching this today, you could see that I have these large gold stud earrings and then a matching necklace. It's easy, and if I were going out, I would throw on a loafer, a ballet flat, and of course my pair of sunglasses.
Yeah.
Depending on the weather, either my coat right now because it's still pretty chilly in New York, or maybe if it as it warms up, I would just drape a sweater over my shoulders in case I needed to wear that later. So that's one of my kind of uniforms. I even mentioned the pleated skirt that I have that I
Mhm.
that's something I wear endlessly during the fall, and one of my go-to outfits is just I'm gonna wear my pleated skirt, I'll wear my tights, some sort of top or sweater,
Yeah.
and then the shoes will be decided by where I'm headed. Am I gonna do a boot, or am I gonna do a slide or a ballet flat with it, depending on where I'm going? And I just have a few of those uniforms, or like a maxi dress. I typically travel with those a lot because I'll style
Right.
them with a pair of heels if I need to be more dressed up. But usually when I'm traveling, I'll wear my maxi dress. I might wear it to the pool. I will wear it around town. I will wear it with flats, or I'll wear it with sandals and a hat and
Yeah.
sunglasses. It's for me one of my uniforms. And I think that that is what makes for me dressing up so easy, is knowing that I
Yes.
have a few of those.
That's such a good idea. And I want to encourage all of you to, because I don't know if anyone's like me, but I would try so hard to buy things that I thought people would like to see me in based on the industry I was in or, who I would be seeing that day. I would be like, oh, they'll probably want to see me in this. And then I finally was realizing like my whole closet is not me. It's all who I think I should be or what I think I should be wearing. And so I'm just, as they say, shooting all over myself instead of actually thinking, okay, what do I want to wear that says who I am and what I'm about? And I changed my entire wardrobe and I literally felt so much more confident because I wasn't staring at my closet like, well, what character do I need to be playing today? It was more like, what do I want to wear to make myself feel comfortable, beautiful, and confident and like crush my goals? And so I figured out that my style is more like, I call it a classy chic safari because I like the big bubble pants and high waist, and I like button-up collared shirts that are tied and with, like, a tank top underneath and a hat and sunglasses, and it looks like I'm about to go on a safari, but I love it.
But I also love that what you just said too is you're identifying your own quote unquote uniform. So
Yes.
it sounds like you have figured out what is going to make me feel my best. And another thing I like to think of when shopping is who is the woman that I want to be and what does she wear? And how does that fit into my everyday life? So oftentimes I like to dress for opportunities that I want. So when I have goals, I think, okay, I want to do that thing. And when I believe I'll get that opportunity one day. And when those doors open, what am I wearing for it? Or
Mhm.
how do I dress in a way that is communicating? Because what everything we do communicates something,
Yes.
including what we wear. And
Yes.
so I think, how can I dress in a way that's going to communicate to anyone and everyone that I'm ready for that opportunity that I desire? And I love using clothing to do that, and I feel like my outfits are also a sort of vision board.
Absolutely, I love it, I love it. I think about that going on dates too, I'm like, I just wanna be sexy, and then I think, "Well, what am I really telling him then if I'm wearing those things? Am I telling him he gets to come home with me tonight? Or am I telling him, I'm a classy woman and you're gonna have to work hard to, be a part of my life? What is my outfit saying to him?" And it'll make me switch what I'm wearing, it's interesting. So, I love the idea of communicating through your wardrobe, and as a mom, that's such a you're almost communicating to yourself as well. Like, if I'm just wearing leggings and a hoodie and I have a messy bun, I'm communicating to myself in the mirror that we're just really not gonna put a lot of effort into today, or I'm tired, or I'm just not motivated. Like, those are the messages you're sending yourself based on what you're wearing as well. So I'm like, "Okay, what do I wanna tell myself? What is my self-talk saying through my wardrobe today?" So I love that. I love that we're talking about that.
That reminds me of that TED Talk about power posing, and it's a very, very popular TED Talk. And I feel like that is essentially the concept that we're discussing and chatting about, but we're talking about it in reference to clothing
Yes.
because that speaker, for anybody who hasn't listened to it, I would say go listen to that
Yes.
TED Talk about power posing. But essentially, she said that our posture, our poses, our body language, it not only affects the way that people see us, but it affects the way that we see ourselves and feel about ourselves. It actually they've done studies that it does have an effect on us. And I feel in the same way, that's how I approach clothing as well. When I put this on, how is it going to make me feel?
Yeah.
And how that can impact the rest of my day and how it can change the way that I move through the world and interact with other people.
Right, right. And if anybody's listening and they're like, "Oh my gosh, they're really bashing me and my hoodies," that's we're totally not bashing and we're not shaming you for wanting to wear. If that makes you feel amazing, wear it. We're not saying that. We're just talking to you if you would like to wear something different and you just don't know where to start or you don't know what to wear or you feel like it's going to cost too much or it's just too much effort, but there is a desire in you to not wear that. Like that's what we're saying is this is not it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to require a lot of extra effort. You can up level your look and your feel and your confidence through your wardrobe. But we're in no way shaming you for what you're doing now. It's
I
okay.
agree. And I think fashion is so personal. And I still coach and work with clients and helping them find wardrobe that makes them feel confident in their best self. It's a journey and it's a
Yes.
process. And it's something that's just taught me to be so aware of, as my friend says, the things that people want to hide or highlight. And
Mhm.
I might look at somebody and say, "Oh my gosh, I love that part about your figure and your shape and I wish that
Yes.
I looked like that." And even though I might feel that way, that individual might not. And for me, at the end of the day, I tell a lot of people, wear what wear what makes you feel great. Fashion is fun. It doesn't have to be that serious. But
Yes.
like you said, if you are someone that's listening in and you're just saying, I just want to change, or I want to try a new style and I don't know how, I don't know where to start. Well,
Yes.
that's exactly why we're here and we're having this chat, is because I've been in that exact same place. I've gone on
Mhm.
that journey. I think that it's a continual journey in life. And now I really enjoy fashion and I share about it all the time. And now one of my favorite places to share about it is LTK. And I had heard, I don't know if you have an LTK.
I don't.
You don't. So I had heard about LTK a long time ago. Everybody's sharing what they wear, all of that stuff. And I wasn't really into it at first. And now what I really appreciate about LTK is their push towards making it more of a social platform and not just here I am sharing what I love to wear. I love that now
Okay.
you can make a post about, what you're having for lunch today, and you don't have to tag anything on it. It's now becoming more of a community and it's so fun. And it's actually been such a great tool for me, even as a coach, because I can share my LTK links and I could say, here's an example of exactly the outfit that I was referring to today. And I can use it as this wonderful visual tool. And what's cool is like, it's easy. I just get to share about the everyday outfits I wear, not just
Yeah.
the special occasion ones. And even though a lot of the pieces that I wear aren't always available because they are thrifted, I
Right.
still search for ones that are very, very similar and
Mm.
I share them on my LTK for anybody looking to get that inspiration. I hope it'll help other women. And because I know that it's helped me a lot to be able to sift through LTK and through Pinterest and just see the style of other women and kind of pull and pick and choose what I feel like makes me most confident and works
Yeah.
best for my body. So it's been a really fun journey for me. And I would say you should check it out. Please join me on LTK.
Yes, that would be fun. Okay. Yeah, I will do that as soon as we get off.
You just reminded me, I've been hearing all about Kibbe body types, and I feel like I need to learn a little bit more about it and research it. Some people swear by it and they just say that it's now the easiest way that they use to find items that really work for their unique shape. And so it's definitely something that I want to try, especially after getting my colors done recently. Now I feel like I want to try the Kibbe body method.
That's so cool. I could probably talk to you for hours, Danny. This is amazing. What I've taken away from this is if this feels exciting to you, obviously you're going to run with it. If you're listening and you're like, yeah, sounds great, but this is unrealistic for me, go to your thrift store or even Walmart and just get like a couple things. Just get one tank that's form fitting and it could be a bodysuit. I've underestimated bodysuits because I love that they don't ride up and they stay in place and it's really not that much of a hassle. But get something form fitting and just get a structured button up like Danny's got on right now. And I guarantee you, just two items like that are going to make you feel up, like leveled up and experiment with that. And then one pair of really good jeans, but it just looks really sharp.
Yes, and I'll say too, I do have a favorite brand, one of my favorite brands for basic fitted tees, and that's Cynthia Rowley. And a great hack is that there's a lot of Cynthia Rowley tees and tanks on ThreadUp. So that's where I
Okay.
usually get mine. I'm always trying to buy everything resale. They have such a great fit. They wash so well and they keep their shape. And then also, I'm not sure if I'm saying this brand the correct way, Coast, COS,
Okay.
Coast.
Okay.
And they have really great basic white tees. I actually saw one of the housewives of New York at an event and I was like, who makes your basic white tee? That is the perfect white tee. And she was like, yeah, it's like a Coast basic white tee. That's it. And so that's actually on my list to purchase. And the other thing that you mentioned quickly about Walmart is Brandon Maxwell stepped on as a designer for them. So I love Brandon Maxwell. A lot of his pieces, they're designer pieces. And so they're not in
Yeah.
everybody's price point, but people don't realize that he stepped on and started designing the lines at Walmart, which is why a lot of people now are they're saying, who's doing all of this? And it's Brandon Maxwell. That's why the pieces look so much more elevated. So, and I'll tell you the main difference between brands like Walmart and then the designer ones. It's usually just the materials that they're using, the techniques, the finishing. So that's why brands like Walmart they're able to create a very, very similar product to the pieces that you're seeing from Brandon Maxwell's actual designer
Love
line.
it. Yeah.
And they're just swapping out a few things, and they're able to offer it at that lower price point. So don't sleep
Okay.
on Walmart for those things
Okay.
for sure.
I love that. Oh, yay. Okay. What is one thing you want to leave everybody with before we sign off?
I just hope that everybody feels encouraged by hearing this. I hope that you don't feel any overwhelm. And I invite you to join me on social media platforms. If you listen in and you have questions about anything that I mentioned in this episode, I'm always there and my DMs are open.
Yay. I love that. I really think you all need to follow Dani. So I'm going to put everything in the show notes. The Pinterest link that she made, especially for you guys, like literally made it for you, is I'm going to put that in the show notes. I'm going to put how to get a hold of Dani in the show notes, all of her social media platforms. They'll be easy to just click and follow. So thank you so much, Dani. I'm so appreciative of this. And I know that fashion has really boosted my confidence over the last 5 years and being a mother, trying to figure my way out in this crazy world that's unappreciated and lacks gratitude, but you still have to show up for yourself every single day. And fashion has been huge for me in that world. So I have a special place for it in my heart. And if any of you live in the northern Colorado region and want to go thrifting, you better look me up and invite me to go because I want to come. All right. Well, I will see you guys next week. Don't forget to stay sparkly. And thank you for listening. Make sure you share and review the podcast. Only if it's 5 stars. If it's not 5 stars, you don't have to worry about any of that. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Love y'all.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. I just wanted to remind you about the resources we have on the reclaimstrategy.com. That is Reclaim University with free downloads. It's the Reclaim Guidebook, access to Kintsugi classes and events. So go ahead and take a look. Also, please share this podcast with anybody that you think might need to hear these messages. And if you haven't already and you think we deserve it, give us a 5-star rating. That just helps our reach. So I love you guys. Stay sparkly, and we will see you next week.